Alright, so Party Play was released yesterday, and I really felt like this feature was meant to be something really big for Pokemon Go. But unfortunately, it is getting a lot of criticisms and a lot of negative feedback from the Pokemon Go community, and I think rightfully so, because there are a couple of issues with Party Play that I feel like Niantic needs to address. That's what this video is going to be about. Let's get right into it. Alright, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon Go video. Today we're going to be talking about Party Play, or at least all of the missed potential behind this feature. Yesterday, I talked about what exactly Party Play is, and you can check out that video. I'll put a link to it in the description below. But today, I wanted to talk about all of the various criticisms behind this new feature and talk about how Niantic could make it even better. When it comes to Party Play, I think there's a lot of potential there, but as of right now, this feature is not meeting it. It's basically a bare bones version of what it could potentially be, and I think because of that, a lot of players are feeling like Niantic is missing the mark. When I look at the feedback from the Pokemon Go community, it seems like there are three major criticisms behind Party Play that I really feel like is holding this feature back. The first criticism is pretty simple. This feature seems to encourage players to multi-account, and that is something that a lot of legit players are not happy about. Of course, for any player who has multiple devices with multiple accounts, they're going to have a very strong advantage with Pokemon Go. They could have a much easier time when it comes to raid battles, and of course with special events like Community Day and Pokemon Go Fest, they have double the amount of shinies, and they could all just transfer those over to their main accounts. Overall, multi-accounting has been one of the biggest exploits with Pokemon Go, and it's not something that Niantic could do much about. But at the very least, much like with spoofing, they could implement gameplay features that would discourage people from ever multi-accounting. But instead of doing that, they created a feature that actually encourages people to multi-account. I think because of that, this is something that Niantic needs to think about. And yeah, when it comes to Party Play, I think this is going to be inevitable. Let people who are already multi-accounting, they're going to have a much easier time with Party Play, and it's going to be a lot more enjoyable for them. Now, the second criticism that I've seen with Party Play, and I think this is absolutely egregious, it seems like when you engage in Party Play, they actually do not allow you to walk any routes. Now, I really feel like this was a huge mistake because routes is something that could have worked in tandem with some of the various challenges that you have to complete with Party Play, and yeah, I think this is a huge missed opportunity because with routes, I think that's a feature that Niantic desperately needs to make better because it's kind of become a forgotten feature at this point. And with the introduction of Party Play, they could have hit two birds with one stone and made routes even better. Just imagine for a second, if you were to complete a route with a friend or a group of friends, then you can actually get more Zygarde cells or maybe even an encounter with Zygarde. Like, they could have done something really cool with this, and instead of doing that, they did not really think outside of the box, and now it seems like you have to choose between one or the other. Which is why when I see Pokemon Go players make this criticism, I think it's well merited. Pokemon Go needs a lot of work, and one of the areas where they need a lot of that work is of course with the routes, and Party Play could have fixed a lot of issues with it. And then finally, the third major criticism behind Party Play that I see very often is the fact that with Party Play, it's just more of the same of what we've already been doing. For players who are able to and are willing to play with other players, this is basically going to be the exact same gameplay, except they added a bunch of gimmicks where you're actually going to see your friends in the game world, and that's not necessarily anything that players have been asking for. It's basically a gimmick at this point. Like, sure, you do get extra rewards if you were to play with other players and complete challenge tasks, but none of those rewards are actually worth going after. You're basically getting a bunch of Pokeballs and extra Stardust for playing with your friend, and yeah, maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily exciting enough to get players. Again, I think it's a huge missed opportunity because this does feel like a bare bones version of what it was meant to be. Like, there's a lot of cool things they could have done with those party challenges, but instead they just feel like a lot of the boring quests that people breeze through in MMORPGs, and there's nothing really exciting with them. They could have done a lot of really cool things with Party Play, especially when it comes to the challenges. Like, they could have done things where if you do some unique things that you'll be able to get rare Pokemon as rewards. Like, one of the party challenges that I noticed was, of course, completing a bunch of raids within a certain period of time. And you did not really get anything from doing that. Like, you don't get any kind of premium rewards or even encounters with a rare Pokemon. It's basically just asking you to do stuff for the sake of doing it. And I really feel like that's incredibly boring. Like, one of the things that I imagine they could have done is make you complete challenges that are incredibly difficult for the average player and give you rewards that match that difficulty. Like, let's say they had a challenge task that required you to complete 5 raids within 15 minutes. Like, yeah, that would be incredibly difficult, but if you do so, you get an encounter with a shiny legendary. Like, how cool would that be? And it would definitely be something that players would want to engage in. Maybe they would have something where you have to catch 100 Pokemon within 30 minutes, and you have to do it as a group. And if you do that, it will reset your daily adventure incense so that you could use it again. Like, there's a lot of cool things that Niantic could have done with this, and I'm really disappointed that they did not think outside of the box when it comes to designing this new feature. Like, if it were up to me, I would have done something really cool, like if you walked 5 kilometers within a couple of minutes, like you'll be able to encounter a Galarian Zapdos or a Galarian Articuno or Galarian Moltres. Like, something like that would have been really cool. But as of right now, people are not motivated to engage with this mechanic, and I don't blame them because there really is no point to doing it. Like, there's no substantial rewards, and you're basically only just doing it for the sake of doing it. The only time that I feel like people will actually engage with party play is, of course, for Wednesday raid hours. Like, you will be able to get a lot of bonuses and advantages by engaging in raids with a party, and yeah, I think that's the only time that people will actually use this feature. When it comes to the general gameplay, there really is no reason for you to party up. I really feel like that's where Niantic needs to redesign party play. It's not necessarily the system itself, but I think it's the tasks and the rewards that really needs a big change. Now, of course, it's not just criticisms that people have been giving. Like, there are some positive things with party play that I do feel like has made Pokemon Go a much better experience. For example, I've noticed that people who live in lower population areas, they're able to complete raids that they originally were not able to do. And that is, of course, because they're playing with loved ones and friends, and they're going up against really difficult bosses like legendaries and shadow raids, and now they're able to complete them because of the raid bonuses that they can utilize. So yeah, there are some pluses with party play that I really feel like should not be ignored. And I really feel like Niantic needs to think outside of the box and improve this feature so more players get engaged with it. Even though Pokemon Go is a casual game, it does have a really dedicated hardcore player base. And there's a lot of casual players who do want to play the game in a more challenging way. So I really do feel like it's okay if they add a lot of really difficult challenge tasks that will give you rewards with a quality that matches that difficulty. But yeah, in any case, these are just some of the thoughts and opinions regarding party play that I wanted to share. And I do think this is going to be an ongoing discussion because when it comes to the last couple of mechanics that they added into Pokemon Go, they just don't seem to be hitting the right note, and I really feel like if Niantic wants to improve their game, they should be getting as much constructive feedback as possible, and I really hope I provided that in this video. But yeah, in any case, I would love to know your thoughts regarding party play down below. What are you thinking Niantic could do to actually improve this feature? Definitely share those thoughts and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it to this point in the video. If you ended up enjoying it and found it to be informative, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And also don't forget that little bell so you can always stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to all of the members of my Patreon family. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in a big way, make sure you go and check out the links in the description below. For everyone who joins my Patreon, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way within Pokemon Go, like with the remote raids or the friendship system, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a non-monetary way, you could always do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula, and I'm on the following platforms. Alright, and that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.